Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to something a little bit different. This is just going to be like me talking about a couple of things in the background. I am also spectating this time because it's going to be interspersed with it, because there's also some good commentary on this from like me and the other guys just talking back and forth. We're playing a cheese game. I wanted to show the cheese games in all their glory. What do I mean by a cheese game? Well, we're playing 6 Symmetras. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. What happens is actually pretty good though. Like 6 Symmetras is not an optimal thing to try and play all 6 of, but me and Saf both like playing Symmetra as well, so like Saf is one of the gurus of Symmetra. Even though he didn't play for a while, he's still very good with Symmetra and knows all the good spots and sort of figured stuff out. I'm putting my turrets in a really sneaky position that just completely screws over only Reinhardt, so I love this position. Unfortunately, you missed the right wall. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was something that actually Saf and I was talking about during the beta, because Saf ran into a problem, right? And it's kind of an interesting one. So what happened was Saf, basically during closed beta 1, played a lot of Torbjorn and a lot of Symmetra. Now over time, Torbjorn got changed, and Symmetra got basically, well, nerfed quite heavily. She's still very useful, she's still very viable, so Symmetra is very good in a lot of places, but for example, you can't really play Symmetra on attack so much anymore. It just doesn't work very well. So Saf had to sort of branch out, was forced into branching out, and we had this interesting discussion that I think is really worth sort of bringing to the public. So I'm going to bring it sort of out here for everyone to think about as everyone dies to turrets beautifully. And I think the enemy team at this point goes, oh shit, we're running into turret webs. It's crazy. Just wait. It gets mad. It gets really mad. But yeah, it's the idea of predefined roles in games. So if you've played an MMORPG, you probably found that you and your friends start identifying almost as certain roles. Oh Jesus, this moment. Just hello, Reinhardt.
Sorry. It's like a spider's web.
I don't need to say anything else really about this game. Like that moment alone made it worthwhile. But predefined roles in games, right? So for example, I tend to identify, and I think I just hit the table, so if there was a boom, that's why. I identify as like a rogue player, a DPS, melee DPS that's usually kind of positional based, very DPS kind of player. I like characters that have just ways of controlling things like stuns and abilities to kind of outplay stuff in clever ways. I like characters like that. So I tend to play rogues, warriors sometimes. I'm more of a tank player than a healer, for example, while Saf is very support oriented. Saf generally plays either healers or tanks. And he's usually also in a kind of a leadership kind of position, just because Saf's a very easy person to get along with. So Saf generally naturally falls into those kind of leadership roles. But he found with Overwatch that identifying yourself as, oh, I'm a support player, so I'm going to play a support, is a kind of a flawed mentality, and it doesn't quite work, because you'll find yourself being surprised by things you like. And I've seen it in the comments, especially after yesterday's video, where I sort of did the post-beta feedback, and I saw a lot of people commenting the same thing. Oh, I went in thinking I really like this, but I actually really like playing this. And sometimes it's, oh, I thought I'd love playing support, but I actually found I really like playing this and this and this. Like, I like playing Genji, of all characters, or I like playing this. And this is why I said previously, I think in the new player questions video, if you find a character you like, don't fight it. Don't think that you identify as a support player, you know, and suddenly in Overwatch you like playing Genji and Tracer. If you like it, you like it. Just accept that fact and get, you know, try and sort of cope with it. Also, the Winston picks are just devastating us, so we decide, yeah, we're going to swap to Torbjorn, because we can't deal with Winston. Winston just destroys Symmetra. Like, you can sort of deal a lot of damage to him, but he'll just wipe out with your turrets, and it's not good news. And yeah, that's when the point gets taken out, so all the teleporters get refunded. It's brilliant. But yeah, this idea of sort of role picking, almost. I've never liked it, especially in Overwatch, so my advice to anyone in Overwatch entering Overwatch is try and diversify as much as you can, almost as quickly as you can. Having 1 or 2 pocket picks is always good, that you sort of gravitate towards, but having, you know, even just like a defensive hero, an assault hero, a support hero, and a tank that you can play is really useful. But even beyond that, having a 6 or 7 deep hero pool is really important, just because you can then bring what your team needs whenever you need it. But it's always fascinated me, this idea of role identity. Because, you know, let me take Ray, for example. Raylin in this game is another one of my old friends, and Ray is very sort of DPS oriented, very sort of charge in and fight kind of oriented as a player. But Ray doesn't like playing Zarya that much, for example. Ray doesn't play that much Zarya. Ray's been playing pretty much exclusively Pharah and Diva. Ray sort of gravitated and sealed onto those two because Ray's a DPS player, but Ray's also picked up Mercy slightly. Ray had sort of picked up Lucio a little bit, but Ray's one of these people who, if they don't like the aesthetics of a character, they won't play it, and Ray doesn't like Lucio's aesthetics that much. Just sort of the hair, I think, puts Ray off. There's Ray, wonderfully with the Symmetra skin. But yeah, it fascinates me because I do see this happen a lot with people where they get this idea that I played this in MMOs, so I'm only going to play this. And then they try out another character, and it's like, holy shit, I love this. So I have another friend who apparently played a lot of Reinhardt during the closed beta, and they usually play support. Like, they usually play supports or mages, but they love Reinhardt. And it's like, just don't resist that. Don't resist that urge, because I do think there is an instinct to say, oh, I play support, so I'm going to do this. Anyway, I'm going to skip ahead to the next game. So this one was started recording midway. They literally said in the lobby, you call that cheese, we'll show you cheese. And they picked 5 Zaryas and a Lucio. So we decided to counter that with 3 Pharahs, I think, or 4 Pharahs, a McCree, and Mercy, with me on the Mercy. I normally wouldn't play support with my friends because I'm going to be completely blunt and say that I'm a better player than they are, so putting me on damage dealers or more impactful characters is good, but my Mercy is also really solid, so I thought, why not? I'll play Mercy, just keep everyone topped up because I know how to do it. So let's do it. And holy shit, this game was actually a lot of fun as well. Like, this is an example of quick play being quick play, right? Like, I love games like this where people would sort of just relax and have fun with the game. We also did, I think, 1 or 2 Mei games. I think we did a game where we went all Mei, and then I made us go all Genji after that stopped working. And that was actually really, really fun. Like, what was cool was watching people like Saf, and this goes back to the discussion at hand. Saf said, like, you know, I really understand why people like Genji right now. I really get it why people like Genji. He'll never play Genji that much just because he gets a little bit disoriented with fast movement and such. But it was fun watching that realization of, holy shit, no, that's actually really fun. And sort of accepting that, and accepting that you're going to find things in this game where it doesn't fit into the MMORPG roles, because it's not an MMORPG. It's not even a MOBA. You're not playing like a tank in a traditional sense. You're playing an FPS game that has a tank character, and it works differently and operates differently, and holy shit. Yeah, so when rocket barrages start falling, Zarya can't do that much. And yeah, this is like, the constant problem for me was, I'm going to keep sinking. I just need people continually in the air for me to stay above everyone, and then they'll have such a hard time killing people past me, basically. I also really like the McCree pick here, by the way. McCree and Zarya have a really good matchup. It's a really complicated matchup. Technically, I have Zarya winning it. But when you have a lot of other threats, then McCree becomes really good for finishing the Zarya off, because generally the thing you struggle with most when killing Zarya, just as a complete side tangent, is you struggle finishing her off, especially when she gets onto high charge. She'll kill everyone so quickly that you'll have like this supernova running around the map. You just need sort of McCree there to get ready to pin her down, and then other people can just slam damage in and kill her. When that happens, by the way, the best thing to do is just to Zerg it with damage. Even if she puts a barrier up, it's only about 200 hit points. Just blow it up with as much damage as quickly as you can. She's already on high charge, so giving her more isn't really going to negatively impact you. Stopping DPS instead is actually going to be worse, and that was me fucking up a dash, I think. I needed to follow Formaldehyde there, but managed to keep Ironia up and running just long enough to get some damage out at least and try and finish off that target. Can't quite do it. I'm just going to pick people back up, using the Resurrect very liberally here. Zarya cannot deal with Pharah efficiently. It just does not work out well for Zarya. There's just no good option. If you get on the ground, then the spam starts getting really bad, but no problem otherwise. But yeah, I want to kind of, you know, I'm going to abuse you guys in the comment section because I'm continually and shockingly impressed by how good the comment section is on my channel. You guys post really good stuff, and like, all I generally ask is, you know, so I like giving you guys directed questions because it gives you guys easy answers as well, and it makes it easy for me to read afterwards. So, what roles do you traditionally play, and did you find yourself going outside of that role? Like, that's where I'm really curious, because Saf found it, I've had a few other friends that found it, and I want to sort of get that idea out there of, don't feel obligated just because you played a priest in WoW for 10 years straight, that you have to play Mercy. You know, you might find that suddenly, oh shit, you love playing Reaper. You know, that can happen. And it's just a very different game, and trying to break that mentality of, I play support, so I'm going to play just this, and realizing, wait, no, this is a different game type. I should really experiment. And I think that's one thing I want to get out there and get that idea in people's heads at least, is experimentation. Playing around with all the different heroes, trying stuff. And this is why I say, you know, during the open beta, try and play everything at least once. I know there's 21 heroes, so like that's still quite a big ask because there's a lot of heroes to play. But try everything at least once. If you find that when the game comes out, and what I did, I literally did this intentionally, by the way.
Remember, although Zarya's barrier does charge her ridiculously, it's not invulnerability.
And there you go, Steph saying something very important as well.
200 hit points. Really
So just confirming that with everyone, that it is 200 hit points on the barrier. I think that number's still correct. It was true the last time I checked. It feels right as well. It goes down very, very quick. But anyway, what I did intentionally was I looked at my career profile during the beta, and I noticed that I hadn't played much. I think it was like McCree and probably Zenyatta as well. I think one of my two lowest, and Winston. And so what I did was I intentionally went and played a bunch of games as McCree, a bunch of games as Zenyatta, and a bunch of games as Winston. And then I found out, okay, do I like these characters? Do I not like these characters? What do I like? What do I don't like? And I found that, you know, I really like McCree as something very useful in the toolbox, and I actually now think that McCree is one of those heroes that if you are serious about playing Overwatch and you want to get really good at Overwatch and really versatile, I think McCree is a hero that should be in everyone, or as many people as possible's toolbox, just because he has the reliable stun. He's the only person really with that. He can reliably break tanks, he can reliably break a lot of important targets, and as such, McCree's kind of a little bit overpowered right now, I guess, in terms of just how much utility he brings and how good he is. But yeah, I thought it was a fascinating discussion. I also wanted an excuse to just post these two matches because they were fun, and like I love seeing people have fun with Overwatch and just play around with it. Like, this is not a competitive match. This is quick play in an open beta. Let's mess around. And also, it gave these guys a chance to play Pharah and to play Junkrat. Like, not Junkrat, Pharah and a little bit of McCree, but mostly just the Pharahs. Oh, here's where I'm trying to teach Ray where the flank is. So what I'm telling Ray right now is to get get your ultimate up, and then you go around this way. To get around here from the ground, by the way, you just go sort of left at the back there, the back wall where I'm near. If you just keep going up those stairs and you keep going that way, you can use a ground path to get over there. What I want Ray to do right now is to get back there, where Ray is right now, and high noon. Luckily, Saf and everyone else, we managed to clear it out enough, and they fire off some Tobalsteins, but we're out of range. We're nice and safe
They're
anyway.
sticking to their Zaryas, though.
And yeah, Formaldehyde also mentioned something absolutely beautiful here, which is, you know, I'm glad they stuck to their Zaryas. I am too, because it made it easy for us. If they went Widowmaker, for example, we'd be in trouble, but Ray's gone Pharah now as well, so we just completed the complement of the full Pharah. The full rocket barrage is ready and raring to go.
No, they're doing try-hard cheese with the Lucio. That's
Yeah, they're doing try. So we actually talked about this before, when we have we basically done, if you look back through my archives, there's a couple of mono hero games. So there's one which is mono Lucio, and there's one which is the mono Genji. The mono Genji one is terrible, by the way, because I played Genji awfully back then, and it's since improved massively. But the mono Lucio one is actually really interesting, simply because it's an example of mono cheese that worked really well until they picked the counter, which was Pharah, by the way. If you're curious, if you want to beat Lucio's up, pick Pharah. But then what they did is they actually did it back to us, but they did it with they did like a mix of heroes. I think they actually did Pharah cheese back, but they kept a Lucio in there, or two Lucios maybe, and it was actually incredibly difficult to break then. So what you'll find is when you do mono cheese, it doesn't work very well, but when you sprinkle one or two more heroes in, it gets a little bit stronger. That's also what we're finding in the pro scene, by the way, and it's actually a big problem there in terms of balance and making it work smoothly. I'm having a blast playing Mercy here, by the way, because I have so many things to just dash around. Like, I'm floating all over the battlefield, and this is why I love playing Mercy, by the way. She's so mobile, and we've got it, we've done it, beautiful. But yeah, I wanted to sort of bring that discussion out about hero roles, and, you know, what role do you play? Did you find yourself slipping out of that role in Overwatch? And how, you know, how did you find it? Did you think that, you know, oh, I have to play support, and oh, I forgot to record play the game here. I'll put in a clip or something of a multi-kill in the background while I finish out. Did you find yourself enjoying playing outside of that role, basically? I've been Josh, as one voice amongst many, and I hope to hear your feedback. I'll have more videos coming out very soon. Toodles.